So, Jay, I know you as a very, successful, accomplished person. You have, I think, three master's degree, electrical, civil, and then computer science, and then you went to Wharton, and you are technical fellow now here. So the world knows only about your successes. I want to know about your failures. Tell me about your failures.
So that's an interesting thing, right? I'll tell you, I always remember when I tell this to my kids, and I tell this to, a couple of weeks back, a few weeks back, I was talking to the teens, right? I think the world most of the time wants to hear about your successes. You know what I mean?
Right.
And that's why you only talk about them, because as I said, if failures is what actually make you into what you are.
Right.
And I'll tell you something, right out of my 10+2 in India, they said 10+2, I wrote this engineering entrance. And guess what? At the time, I was so distracted. I used to love cricket. I used to play so much that I did not even pay attention to my studies. And I did not get through.
Wow, I cannot believe that you didn't get through.
Okay, so 1 year, and my parents were pretty unhappy because my sisters both did very well in those things. I didn't do. So I sat 1 year at home preparing for the next year and things like that. But during the time I did some things. But if I were to tell that very thing changed me in my life.
Right.
When I look back, I think everybody needs to do what it takes to have a minimum viable success.
Right.
Okay. And you need to be you yourself are a good judge for that. Okay. And it can apply to anywhere, and that's what that has taught me. And after that, I became so worried about everything for like first 10 years. That's why you see I did 2 different engineering degrees. You know what I mean? I did computer science, and I was doing a lot more because I was I'm trying to compensate for the thing that I had. But it came in handy because in a way it taught me something, that every time you need to assess yourself.
Right.
Where are you? Are you doing enough to make sure that whatever the success that you want to achieve, whether in a product, whatever the form it is, that you are doing the minimum required to be able to meet it. Okay. And the second thing is, are you having fun? Okay. If you're not having fun, and if you're always at this stress, probably that's not the place to be.
True.
Okay.
True.
And so after the first 10 years of this, having that, I was doing everything over, and after that I looked at and I said, am I having fun? And I started doing, am I curious about certain things? Okay. And these are the 2 things that became very important for me. And in the projects also, I know I won't take by name, there are certain projects in which they were not successful. You know what I mean? They did not get the commercial success, or they did not get the collaboration success that I wanted to.
Right.
Some were because of my underestimation of what I wanted to build. Some were because of I did not seek the support of people that needed to get, And so only one thing that now I look for is, whenever you have a failure, you need to actually have a notes of what are the things that you learned out of it.
True.
Okay. It's not just about writing it down. And when you're writing your next vision talk, when you're writing your next project, just look at them. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And sometimes when we meet people that work, we worked on in the previous projects or anything, and we meet, that's what I tell. Do you remember, man, in that one, this was the learning. And you repeat.
True.
And that's the repetition is only because I read somewhere that your memory is about how you remember things. It's not about what exactly happened.
True.
Okay. So that reinforces that some of the things that you want to keep in mind.
True.
For your future things. I know maybe I was too theoretical here, but hope it answered the question.
No, I get it, and it's very interesting to know that I always saw you as a very studious and very smart person, and I never would have imagined that you failed, in engineering test. And I asked about failure right after the interview because, a lot of people fail interviews. And my message to anybody who is listening is they should not take it too personally, because we know that in Microsoft and all, we interviewed thousands of people, and often when people not got selected, but they did very well in everywhere else. So failures are, I feel, it's a concentrated dose of learning.
Yep.
It teaches you a lot, and often I see it's a blessing in disguise. So